I will teach you some languages. After we will read some more of the 1984 book of John Bull. And we'll do some stretching. Let's start in the outside. And afterwards, we will also dance to some traditional music. And with traditional outfits, with real live music. No, not with this. Let's go to put my YouTube. Ravit Levi. And we are now live on my YouTube, but I will put some more other things there now. Let's do in the playlist. What will we put? We put all times, right? Maybe it's not so good. Maybe we put no, maybe I will put just my covers. Let's put this so I will not have problems with all kinds of. No, let's put festivals. Festivals. Where are you? Here, festivals. Okay. Oh, look what the first one on festivals is DJ Latam, that is also from Romania. What a coincidence. So, Marius Latam, you can hear it? You want that I will make it louder? Let's make it a bit louder. Okay, maybe you don't know, but I put this on the leg because I had an accident with my motorbike like almost 7 years ago, 6 years and 10 months ago. So in a few minutes I will go here to the jacuzzi. I will teach you some languages, and after I will read some of the 1984, and after we will make another live that we will dance in traditional outfits. Okay, it's enough. Hello everyone. I'm from the world, from everywhere. boats in Decathlon. Seafood. I will let you be here. I will go, you will see me soon. Opa. Oh, wow. Ah, it's so hot. Oh my god. Oh, it's too hot. Oh my god. Okay. Too hot. I never set it on the jacuzzi. I feel it's too hot. Maybe I will stay out. Too hot, too hot. Oh my god. I cannot go in. Okay, okay. So, meanwhile, I will start outside. Okay, so oh, okay, good, thank you. For more cold water. So let's start with teaching you some languages. We are in Romania, so we start in Romanian words. I wrote some when I was here 2 years ago in two festivals. What we hear now of DJ Latam, it was when I performed with him in the Waha Festival here in Romania. Hola, yeah. Opa. No. Okay. So, yes in Romanian is da. I will also say it in Hebrew and in Greek. And afterwards, and I also have in Czech, in Iranian, and in Austrian. Okay, so let's do it in all languages, whatever I can. Okay, so yes is da, and in Hebrew it's ken, in Czech is ano, in Iranian is bel, in Austrian is ya, and in Greek is ne. Okay? Argentina. And how do you say it in Argentina? Yes? Si, right? I know I've been to Argentina for 2 months. I gained 10 kilos there. And I learned a bit more the language after I learned it in telenovelas. Oh, now it's better. Oh, it's still so. Okay. Let's go to the next word. No. Yes, no in Romanian is nu. In Hebrew is lo. In Greek is oshi. In Czech is ne. In Iranian is na. In Austrian is 9. Okay, nice. And let's go to the next word. Okay, I don't have everything. Let's go to the Romanian words. And then I have it in Greek also, and then we'll go to the others. Okay? Okay. So, what is sexily? Okay. Feeling in Romanian is dor. In Hebrew, it's regesh. Yeah, it's still hot, but it's okay. It's still pretty hot. Yes, I think it's okay. I think I will stop. Yeah, I will close it here. I will close it. Yeah, I think it's finished.
Okay, awesome.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. So feeling is regesh in Hebrew, dor in Romanian, and in Greek it's estimata. Okay, how are you? In Romanian is shefach. In Hebrew is ma shlomcha. For a man, for a woman, ma shlomech. And in Greek is pos isa. Okay, next. Good morning. Good morning in Romanian is bună dimineața. In Hebrew it's boker tov. And in Greek is kalimera. If you know, before I say, write it down. Okay, easy. Easy in Romanian is inchet. In Hebrew is kal. And in Greek is irema. Okay, good evening. Good evening in Romanian is bună seara. In Hebrew is erev tov. And okay, so there is I think it's kalispera, that it's good afternoon, because kalinichta, it's like good night. It's like in Hebrew, good night is laila tov. When you go to sleep, you say in Greek, kalinichta. Okay, have a good day. In Romanian is se ai o zi bună. In Hebrew is שיהיה לך יום טוב. In Greek is Calisumera. Okay. Bon appetit. It's more in French. You don't really have this word in English. I don't know why. You say enjoy your meal. So in Greek, in Romanian, it's pofta buna. In Hebrew, it's betavon. And in Greek is kali orexi. Okay. For have a good day. So it's not only Calisumera, it's Calisumera Nachismia Calimera. Nachismia Calimera, okay. In Romanian is mulțumesc mult. In Hebrew is toda raba. And in Greek is Efcharistopoli. Love. Love in Romanian is Yubire. In Hebrew it's Ahava. And in Greek is Rapi. For thank you very much. You said Efcharistos Parapoli in Greek. I love you in Romanian is Yubire. And in Hebrew it's Ani Ohev Otach. If a man say to a woman, Ani Ohev Otach. Thank you, love your channel. Thank you very much. You are welcome to subscribe, of course, with the bell and share it to the world so more people will enjoy. Okay. So I love you for that a man say to a woman is Ani Ohev Otach. If a woman say to a man, it's Ani Ohevet Otcha. Okay, in Romanian it's Te Iubesc, like I said. And in Greek, Sagapo. I'm from France. How do you say it in French? Je t'aime, right? And in Spanish, Te amo. Sagapo, I have a story on it. When Dalaras came to Israel, and I really love his song Sagapo. I wanted that he will sing it, so I asked him Sagapo, 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 and at the end he sang it. So if you want, you can see it on YouTube. It's a very, very good song. Okay, so after Sagapo, we have good afternoon. It's about from, in Greek, you say, unfortunately I don't have more words in Romanian, but let's go to Greek. And then I have Czech, Iranian, Austrian, and Hebrew. Okay. And then English. Let's do it. Oh, it's still very hot. Sorry. Maybe I will put some more cold water. More cold. Sweaty here. So, good afternoon from 12 p.m. until sunset, and good evening together. It's Kalispera. Good night. If you don't go to sleep, if you go to sleep, it's Kalinichta. But if you go to sleep, it's Kalovrade. Okay? You are beautiful. If you say to a man, it's Ise Omorphos. You are beautiful if you say to a woman, it's Ise Omorphi. Very beautiful is Panemorphi. Okay. What else do we have here? Funny is voice. Fear. Phobos is scared. Phos is light. Philly is kiss. Fraula is strawberry. Fruta is fruit. Fiti is snake. Fruto is tree. Psema is light. Psychio is frigidaire. Psomi is bread. Mavo psomi is black bread. Darkness is Skotavi. Outside is Exxon. Wow. Okay. Let's continue. Eyes, it's Matya. In Hebrew, it's Enaim. Wait, I don't see you. What? Nosa, que linda. Thank you. Wow, the water is super warm. It's so hot, I cannot go inside. I think I will have to put some more cold water. I'm sweating here. Okay, so eyes is Matya, Enaim. Nose is Miti, it's in Hebrew Af. Mouth in Greek is Stoma, in Hebrew is Pe. Lips in Greek is Chilia. In Hebrew it's Fatayim. Teeth in Greek is Dodia. In Hebrew it's Shinayim. Ears in Greek is Aftia. In Hebrew it's Oznayim. Hi. Neck in Greek is Plati. Sorry, it's back. Neck is Lemos. In Hebrew it's Tzavar. Back in Greek is Plati. In Hebrew it's Gav. Stomach in Greek is Kilia. In Hebrew it's Beten. And shoulders, I think I will put a bit down the sound. Shoulders in Greek is Om, and in Hebrew it's Ktefayim. so loud because it was the opening ceremony of Ozora 2023. The next day I performed with DJ Hata. You can watch it on my performances playlist. So I filmed all the entrance from the back to the front of the. You can watch it over there. You can watch everything under a festival's playlist. I don't know, something's wrong with the Wi-Fi. Don't ever give up, as you know. So I will continue trying. So let's continue with the words. I will continue to. I need more cold water. Okay, so we said love in Czech is laska. In Iranian is esk. ESHK. Esk. In Austrian is libe. In Greek is agape. In Hebrew it's ahava. Okay. Too hot. Dance. In Czech is tanek. In Iranian is raks. In Austrian is tanzen. In Hebrew is likud. I don't know, the Greek stayed empty from some reason. If you know in Greek how do you say dance, please write it down. I will say. We have a Greek audience here. Okay, let's continue. Wait. I will put you this. So, hello. Hello is in Czech. Ahoy to friends. And it's also Dobrý den. It's a good day. Okay, ahoy, dobrý den. In Iranian, it's salam. Durut, I wrote in the past. I don't know what that means. Durut. Okay. And in Austrian is hallo. And in Hebrew it's shalom. Okay. Little in Czech is mali. In Iranian it's kami. And in Austrian is ambition. In Hebrew it's ktat. Okay, yes, we said already. No, we said already. In which language yes is ano? In Czech. By the way, I'm half Czech, half Greek, so you have everything almost clear. Czech, like Czechoslovakia. You can see on my lives that I did on YouTube and on Instagram. That I did lives from Ukraine, that it's ex-Czechoslovakia. Okay, so I know it's in Czech, Iranian, yeah, in Austrian, כן, in Hebrew, is in Czech, na in Iranian, na in Iranian, and in Czech you say party. You make the A long, party, like we have to close it, because no one can tell us how to breathe or if or where to dance, right? So in Iranian it's gash or gesh. In Austrian it's fire. Coming to fire. Okay, let's continue. Birthday. In Czech, Narozeniny. Narozeniny. Oh, do you have Narozeniny? Okay. In Iranian, Tavalot. Tavalot is birthday in Iranian. No, it's too hot. I need more water. Excuse me. Sorry, I forgot your hands. I'm dying. Yeah. Let's continue. Go. So, wow. Yes. So in Iranian, birthday is Tavalot. In Austrian is Geburtstag. In Hebrew, it's Yom Huledet. Okay. Water. Water in Czech is voda. In German is up. Still so hot. So hot. So, in Czech is voda, in Iranian is up, in Austrian is vaza, and in Hebrew it's mine. Okay, bread. In English, bread, in Czech is chleba. In Iranian is naan. In Austrian is brot. And in Hebrew it's lechem. Sun. In Czech is slunce. In Iranian is חורשית. You're probably asking yourself, how do I know Iranian? So I met a nice Iranian man in Greece last year. Yes, last year, like a year and a half ago, still last year. And so he taught me some Iranian. So in Iranian, sun is חורשית. In Austrian it's son, and in Hebrew it's shemesh. Black in Czech is cherny. In Iranian is sia. In Austrian is schwarz, and in Hebrew it's shachor. White in Austrian is bili. In Czech is bili. In Iranian is shefit. In Austrian is weiß, and in Hebrew is lavan. You know, we have in Israel, we have two last names, Schwarz, and it's shachor in Hebrew, Schwarz it's black in Austrian. And Weiss, it's also a surname, and that it's white in Hebrew Lavan. Okay, how are you? In Czech is jak se mas. In Iranian is halachetore. In Austrian is Viket Esdia, and in Hebrew it's Mashlomcha for a male, like to ask a male, or Mashlomech to ask a female. Okay, thank you. In Czech is dekui, or diki. I don't know. Thank you, dekui. In Iranian, it's sepas. In Austrian, it's danke. And in Hebrew, it's toda. Very much is in Czech. Mockrat dekui. In Iranian, as shoma. In Austrian it's shun, that it's also beautiful, and in Hebrew it's rabah. You're welcome. In Czech is nemashzach. In Austrian is Choshamadi or Choshamadi. In Austrian is Biteshun. In Hebrew it's Bevakasha. Oh, I'm sweating. Wow. Wait. I have towel here. still prefer it on ice bath. Okay. Good morning. We said it already, but I checked. We didn't. It's dobre rano. In Iranian, it's stop bechesh. In Austrian is Guten Morgen. And in Hebrew, it's Boker Tov. And good night in Czech is Dobro noc. In Iranian is Shapechesh. In Austrian is Gute Nacht. And in Hebrew it's Laila Tov. What else do we have here? Not for all the languages. Oh, thank you. Mulțumesc mult. It started raining here, so I put the laundry under the roof. Mulțumesc mult. Yes. Okay. So, breakfast is in Czech. Snidanie. In Hebrew, it's arufat boker. Dog in Czech is pes or pesek for doggy. In Hebrew, it's kelev. Cat. Kochichka. In Slovakian is machka. And in Hebrew it's chatul. And like in Czech is rad, and in Hebrew like it's like mechabev. If you love, it's ohev. If you like, it's mechabev. Okay, so this is yes. חם אני מציעה. אוקיי. גריק. Water in the shower. In Hebrew you ask, האם יש מים חמים במקלחת? In Greek you ask, איך היא זסטו נרוסטובנו? In English, I had a pleasure to meet you. In Hebrew, היה לי תענוג לפגוש אותך. And in Greek, חריקה פוס גנוריסה. Okay, thank you very much. הבא, for everything, על הכל, in Hebrew, in Greek, is יאולה. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ, יאולה. Okay. Can I have a lighter, please? In Hebrew אפשר מצית בבקשה. In Greek you say parakalo mudine na ptila. Excuse me in English is slicha in Hebrew, and in Greek is signomi. I need water, please. In Hebrew it's אני צריכה מים בבקשה. For a woman, if you are a man, you say אני צריך מים בבקשה. And in Greek you say parakalo telonero. I want to eat salad. In Hebrew, אני רוצה לאכול סלט. For a man, for a woman, אני רוצה לאכול סלט. And in Greek is תן לו נפה או סלטה. There is kani, it's like someone else is doing it. Kano, it's I do it. Like kani salato, kano salata. We have a lot of guys here. Kanome parea. Plate in Hebrew is צלחת, and in Greek is piato. And in Greek is piruni. Cup, that it's the spoon. In Hebrew it's cup, and in Greek is putate. Knife. In Hebrew is sakin. In Greek is macheri. Bottle. In Hebrew it's bakbuk. In Greek is bukali. And telephone. Phone. In Hebrew it's telephone. In Greek is telefono. Cigarettes. In Hebrew it's סיגריות. In Greek is סיגרה. And one cigarette, in Hebrew it's סיגריה. And in Greek is סיגרו. Okay. I stopped smoking. Maybe you know I stopped smoking and tell me how to say in Greek. So see, just see how much that's okay, like how long the words are, how long is the stand is come to do empty and stop smoking cigarettes. Simple, right? In Hebrew it's also easy, like בואו לעשות empty ותפסיקו לעשן סיגריות. In Greek, listen to this. Start like this. Stekiniste, nacanete, dialogismo, mejoro que stamatticide copsete, to capinisma tazigara. And then they say, oh, okay, it's too long, let's make it shorter. And they said, okay. Stekiniste nacanete, dialogismo, mejor que stamatticete tazigara. Still very long. It makes you tired. In English. And now we can call. You're welcome to write it in your own language. I will put letter. I don't want. To drink some water. Okay, so I put a better Wi-Fi connection. I'm going to bring water and I'm coming back in a couple of minutes. Don't go away. I am back with some pony, some water, a cookie, and we'll continue. It was so hot inside. Oh. And do you hear the rain? Very rainy. זה לא שלך, שלה? זה לא שלך. לא. Okay, I think it's good. Okay, I think I can turn it off. So I will have. Opa! I don't need water, cold water no more. Now it's perfect. Warm. Perfect temperature. Okay, so we were in the English lesson. Before we learned some Czech and Iranian and Romanian, of course, because we are in Romania, and Greek, a lot of Greek, and Hebrew and Austrian, and now we will learn English and Hebrew. So you are welcome to join. And afterwards, wow, it is so much rain. I will continue on reading to you 1984 by George Orwell. Let's take another sip of water and continue with the English lesson. Unfortunately, I changed the Wi-Fi so I cannot see your comments this time. But I hope you enjoying and learning. I'll do the jacuzzi again. Let's put the water. So, okay, the first word will be undeniable, לא מוטל בספק. Hardship, it's מצוקה, סבל. Thrive in, לשגשג פנימה. Props, it's also אביזרים, and it's להשעין, להישען. List, it's חפור או זכור. Crawling, it's בזחילה, נמשך. Devastation, it's חורבן, השמדה. Coughing, it's שיעול, השתעלות, גניחה. Arrogant, it's יהיר, שחצן, אהבתני, זחוח. Reassuring, it's מרגיע, להרגיע, להבטיח. Anchored, it's מעוגן. Quarantine, it's בידוד, הסגר, מחנה הסגר, להסגיר. Foraging, it's חיפוש אחר מזון. Autumn, it's סתיו, שלכת. Hindsight, it's חוכמה לאחר מעשה. Linings, it's בטנות, רפידות. Frail, it's חלש, שביר, תשוש. Shakily, it's מטלטלת. Laid out, לפרוס, לטוות. It's laid out זה מונחת. Trickling, it's דליפה. tenants, it's דיירים, שוכרים, חוכרים, משתכנים. rotten, it's מושחת, נאלח, קלוקל, מנוול, רקוב, מחורבן, מקולקל, נרקב. It's rotten. piling, piling is גדישה. leaking pipe, it's צינור דולף. molded is מעוצב. סלע is מרתף. Q is תור. revolting is מגעיל, מבחיל. tensed is למתוח, להימתח, נמתח. blur is לטשטש, לעמעם. onto is על גבי, על פני. guts is אומץ, העזה, חוצפה או דם. gut is מעי. guts feeling is תחושת בטן. bantering is קשקוש. bantering. Okay, there are some words here that I didn't translate it yet. We will get back to it. Let's go to the other page. So I also recommend you to, to write words that you don't really know when you are reading a book, and translate it and then repeat it till you will know it. Maybe a couple of years ago I didn't know words from here, but now I do. But still there are some that I don't, because it's not common words that I use, and you need to practice and to repeat more and more until you know it. But when you read and when you repeat on how it works, you know better. And each time you can know better than yesterday. It's just a matter of practicing. And you can do also things while you are practicing, like you can walk out. You can read and walk out at the same time. You can stretch and repeat the words that you don't know. It's easy. You don't need to do each action by itself. You can combine. I like the combinations. So, as you can see. So let's continue. We have rows. As you can see also to each word there are few translations. So rows can be שדרה, מערכת, מריבה, לחתור, להרעיש, להתקוטט, לריב, לשייט. And also שורות, תאים. manifestation, תופעה, ביטוי, גילוי, הבהרה, הפגנה, פרסום. Anthem is hymnon. Maybe not a lot of you know that the Israeli anthem, the melody from the Israeli anthem comes from a Romanian country song, you can say, like shepherd song. Yeah, check it out. Unison is one hand. So, okay, in Hebrew it's יד אחת, תיאור מלא. Dystopia, it's the opposite of utopia. You know what it is. Eudokia in Hebrew as well. Rein, R-E-I-N, it's לרסן, למתג, מעצור, יתר. Stimuli, it's גירויים. Stimulus is דחיפה, גורם ממריץ, גירוי, עידוד, מניע. Bell is פעמון או מצילה. It's what you should do here on YouTube. Subscribe with the bell. Cohabitation, no? Cohabitation. Cohabitation. It's also to be couple without marriage, use ללא נישואין. And it's שכיבה, בעילה, הזדווגות, משגל, משכב, בריאה ורבייה, חיים יחד. Introverted זה מופנם, disposition זה מזג, מערך, נטייה, שליטה, הצבה, מערכה, היערכות. Milder is מתון, עדין, פייסני זה mild. Milder is מתון יותר. Runaway is לברוח, נמלט או פליט. Someone is running away. Tulips, צבעונים, tulips, you need to say tulips. Vines, זה גפנים. Laurels, זה זרי דפנה. Prompt, להתבקש. Caress, ליטף. Caress is ללטף, לחבק, לגפף. Engraving is חריטה, חקיקה, אילוף, תכרית. Rejoicing זה צהלה, עליצות, ששון, עליזה. טול זה אגרה, מחיר, מס דרכים, מס מעבר, מכס, קציר דמים, צלצול. Bombarding is הפצצה. Bombard זה להפציץ, להפגיז, לדבשל. Apologetically זה בהתנצלות. Solid זה מוצק. סולידי, איתן, מבוסס, אטום. Whispered זה לחש. whisper ללחוש, להתלחש, לרכוש, להרחיש. convincing זה משכנע. It's also persuasive, cogent, convincing, plausible, שכנוע, השתכנעות. Distraction, it's הסחת דעת, it's also diversion. Getaways, זה מילוץ. Lazing, זה מתעצל. Genuine, זה אמיתי, טבעי, משולב. Sustainable זה יציב. Selves זה אני, עצמיות, אישיות, גוף. facilitating. facilitating, מקל. ליקן. ליקן זה דולף. דיספר זה ייאוש. אמנס, לא, אמנס זה עצוב. stranded זה נטוש. transit זה, you can say transience או transiting זה מעבר. domestic זה ביתי. mugging זה שוד. depleting זה מתכלה. draining זה מתנקז או מיצוי. extent זה מימד, משטח, רוחב, שטח נרחב, היקף, גודל, מידה. regard זה בברכה, דרישת שלום. repatriation זה החזרה למולדת. repatriation. part ways with זה להיפרד מישהו. eerie it's מפחיד, scary. thriving it's לצלוח, לנוב, ללבלב, לפרוט, משגשג, לפרוח ולהפריע. סולי זה אך ורק, בלבד, לידה. granted זה מוענק, אכן, ניחא. bear זה שפוי או לגלות, או חשוף, עירום, מצומצם. Again, I'm sorry that I cannot see your comments because I changed the Wi-Fi. It was not strong enough. It kept on closing. So I don't know what you are writing. I hope you are enjoying and you are learning. And okay, let's continue. Paved מעוצף. resurgence התעוררות מחודשת. segregation הפרדה. disparity פער. heritage מורשת. oppression עושק. curfews עוצר. mounting הרכבה. conform להתאים. controversy מחלוקת. solidified התמצק. פלוי תכסיס. rife שופעת. evicted פונה. Nowadays there are many people who got evicted from their homes. And it's very, very sad. This new world order, you know. So we must find the courage inside of us in order to protect our basic human rights, to protect our homes, and most of all the children. Cement, beton, lounging, משתרבבים, lounging about. Ventures, העז. Escarcens. Escarcens, it's טיולים, of course. Doped, הגנה. Itinerary, מסלול. whilst, תוך. eagerly, בשקיקה. shrugged off, התנער. niggling, קטנוניות. sanction, סנקציה, הכשר, הרשאה, סמכות, אישור. pact, ארוז. prospects, נוף, מראה, סיכוי, תקווה, או לקוחות פוטנציאליים. disembark, it's לרדת מאונייה. facilities, זה מתקנים. bombshell, פצצה. upbeat, תנועה מעלה או אופטימית. gasp, it's להתנשף. days, להלום, להמם. מטורף. exhale, זה לנשוף. nourishment, זה תזונה. embrace, ללפף, להקיף. לחבק, לכלול, לגפף. bypass, לעקוף, עיקוף, עקיפה. nest, זה כן. pulse, טעימה, דופק. bare eyes, עיניים חשופות. separating, הפרדה, מבדיל. realm, ממלכה, תחום, שטח. hypertension, לחץ יתר. irrevocably, באופן בלתי הפיך. vocation, it's מקצוע, ייעוד, שליחות, תעודה, משלוח יד. vocation. It's interesting, you know, that vocation, that it's your mission, you know, it's also it's your mission. It sounds like vacation because when you are working in your mission, it feels like a vacation even though you are working constantly, like every day, for years. You are working all day long in all of your spare time almost on your mission because you cannot live otherwise. For you it's so obvious that you will keep on working on this because it's so super important for you and you believe for the world, that it feels like a vacation. Even if you make a lot of effort and you work very, very hard, it still feels like a vacation. Like, I don't know who said it once, work in something that you love and you will not work a day in your life again. So yes, it's not a coincidence that vocation sounds like vacation. Okay, and maybe we will stop here. I will continue from the vocation. After, I will read for you some of the from the book that I did already 2 lives one on YouTube or the one on Instagram. After I couldn't do another one on YouTube. Oh, why it's a bit wet? For what? I need to put it in I need to put the books inside a plastic bag, in the bag, not like this, just put it in the bag. Because now it doesn't look so good, and I don't like that my books are, being ruined. Okay, but I will continue reading it. So, if you want to heal the other, got wet here. No way, here it's dry. I hope. Okay, now it's all dry here. Let's put it here so it will not stay dry. Oh, it's dry. So, where were we? So you can go to the other lives to hear the previous chapters of the book, and now we are on chapter 4. I'm not sure where I stopped, but I will read you let's say, the beginning of the page. Okay. So, there was a whole chain of separate departments dealing with proletarian literature, music, drama, and entertainment generally. Opa, yes. Here were produced ravishing newspapers containing almost nothing except sport, crime, and astrology. Sensational 5-cent novelettes, films oozing with sex, and sentimental songs which were composed entirely by mechanical means on a special kind of kaleidoscope known as versificator. There was even a whole subsection, pornosec. It was called in newspeak, engaged in producing the lowest kind of pornography, which was sent out in sealed packets and which no party member other than those who worked on it was permitted to look at. 3 messages had slid out of the pneumatic tube while Winston was working, but they were simple matters, and he had disposed of them before the 2 minutes hate interrupted him. When the hate was over, he returned to his cubicle, took the Newspeak dictionary from the shelf, pushed the speak right to one side, cleaned his spectacles, and settled down to his main job of the morning. Winston's greatest pleasure in life was in his work. Most of it was a tedious routine, but included in it there were also jobs so difficult and intricate that you could lose yourself in them as in the depths of a mathematical problem. Delicate pieces of forgery in which you had nothing to guide you except your knowledge of the principles of INSOC and your estimates of what the party wanted you to say. Winston was good at this kind of thing. On occasion, he had even been entrusted with the rectification of the Times leading articles, which were written entirely in newspeak. He unrolled the message that he had set aside earlier. It ran: Times, December 3rd, 83, reporting BP day order, double Blancengood, refs, unpersons, rewrite, full-wise, upsub, underfilling. In Old Peak or Standard English, this might be rendered: the reporting of Big Brother's order for the day in the Times of December 3rd, 1983 is extremely unsatisfactory and makes references to non-existent persons. Rewrite it in full and submit your draft to higher authority before filling. Winston read through the offending article. Big Brother's order for the day, it seemed, had been chiefly devoted to praising the work of an organization known as FFCC, which supplied cigarettes and other comforts to the sailors in the floating fortresses. A certain comrade, Withers, a prominent member of the inner party, had been singled out for special mention and awarded a decoration, the Order of Conspicuous Merit, second class. 3 months later, FFCC had suddenly been dissolved with no reasons given. One could assume that Withers and his associates were now in disgrace, but there had been no report of the matter in the press or in the telescreen, or on the telescreen. That was to be expected, since it was unusual for political offenders to be put on trial or even publicly denounced. The Great Purge, involving thousands of people with public trials of traitors and thought criminals who made abject confession of their crimes and were afterwards executed, were special showpieces, not occurring oftener than once in a couple of years. More commonly, people who had incurred the displeasure of the party simply disappeared and were never heard of again. One never had the smallest clue as to what had happened to them. In some cases, they might not even be dead. Perhaps 30 people personally known to Winston, not counting his parents, had disappeared at one time or another. Also his parents. And Winston stroked his nose gently with a paperclip in the cubicle across the way from comrade Tillstone was still crouching secretively over his speakwrite. He raised his head. Wait, it's hard for me to stand like this. He raised his head for a moment. Okay. Where am I? So he raised his head for a moment. Again, the hostile spectacle flashed. Winston wondered whether Comrade Tilstone was engaged of the same job as himself. It was perfectly possible. So tricky a piece of work would never be entrusted to a single person. On the other hand, to turn it over to a committee would be to admit openly that an act of fabrication was taking place. Very likely, as many as a dozen people were now working away on rival versions of what Big Brother had actually said. And presently, some master brain in the inner party would select this version or that, would re-edit it and set in motion the complex processes of cross-referencing that would be required. And then the chosen lie would pass into the permanent records and become truth. Winston did not know why Withers had been disgraced. Perhaps it was for corruption or incompetence. Perhaps Big Brother was merely getting rid of too popular subordinates. Perhaps Withers or someone close to him had been suspected of heretical tendencies. Or perhaps what was likeliest of all, the thing had simply happened because purges and vaporizations were a necessary part of the mechanism of government. The only real clue lay in the words refs and persons, which indicated that Withers was already dead. You could not invariably assume this to be the case when people were arrested. Sometimes they were released and allowed to remain at liberty for as much as a year or 2 years before being executed. Very occasionally, some person whom you had believed dead long since would make a ghostly reappearance at some public trial where he would implicate hundreds of others by his testimony before vanishing, this time forever. Withers, however, was already an unperson. He did not exist. He had never existed. Winston decided that it would not be enough simply to reverse the tendency of Big Brother's speech. It was better to make it deal with something totally unconnected with its original subjects. He might turn the speech into the usual denunciation. I don't know. Of traitors and thought criminals, but that was a little too obvious. While to invent a victory at the front or some triumph of overproduction in the 3-year plan, it's like, Indianic mouth. So 9-year plan might complicate the records too much. What was needed was a piece of pure fantasy. Suddenly, there sprang into his mind, ready-made as it were, the image of a certain comrade Ogilvy, who had recently died in battle, in heroic circumstances. There were occasions when Big Brother devoted his order for the day to commemorating some humble rank-and-file party member whose life and death he held up as an example worthy to be followed. Today, he should commemorate Comrade Ogilvy. It was true that there was no such person as Comrade Ogilvy, but a few lines of print and a couple of faked photographs would soon bring him into existence. Winston thought for a moment, then pulled the speak right towards him and began dictating in Big Brother's familiar style. A style at once military and pedantic, and because of a trick of asking questions and then promptly answering them. What lessons do we learn from this fact, comrades? The lesson, which is also one of the fundamental principles of INGSOC, that easy to imitate. At the age of 3, Comrade Ogilvy had refused all toys except a drum, a submachine gun, and a model helicopter. At 6 year early, by a special relaxation of the rules, he had joined the spies. At 9, he had been a troop leader. At 11, he had denounced his uncle to the thought police after overhearing in conversation which appeared to him to have criminal tendencies. At 17, he had been a district organizer of the Junior Anti-Sex League. At 19, he had designed a hand grenade which had been adopted by the Ministry of Peace and which, at its first trial, had killed 31 Eurasian prisoners in one burst. At 23, he had perished in action, pursued by enemy jet planes while flying over the Indian Ocean with important dispatches. He had weighted his body with his machine gun and leaped out of the helicopter into deep water, dispatches and all, and said Big Brother, which it was impossible to contemplate without feelings or of envy. Big Brother added a few remarks of the purity and single-mindedness of Comrade Ogilvy's life. He was a total abstainer and a non-smoker, had no recreations except a daily hour in the gymnasium, and had taken a vow of celibacy, believing in marriage and the care of the family to be incompatible with the 24-hour-a-day devotion to duty. He had no subjects of conversation except the principles of Insoc, and no aim in life except the defeat of the Eurasian enemy and the human down of spies, saboteurs, and thought criminals and traitors generally. Winston debated with himself whether to award Comrade Ogilvy the Order of Conspicuous Merit. In the end, he decided against it because of the unnecessary cross-referencing that it would entail. Once again, he glanced at his rival in the opposite cubicle. Something seemed to tell him with certainty that Tillstone was busy on the same job as himself. There was no way of knowing whose job would finally be adopted, but he felt a profound conviction that it would be his own. Comrade Ogilvy, unimagined an hour ago, was now a fact. It struck him as curious that you could create dead men but not living ones. Comrade Ogilvy, who had never existed in the present, now existed in the past, and when once the act of forgery was forgotten, he would exist just as authentically and upon the same evidence as Charlemagne or Julius Caesar. Okay, chapter 4 ended. Can't believe it got wet. What? Okay, we will continue to chapter 5 after a few sips of water. Wow, so maybe some stretching. Soon we'll dance Romanian songs with traditional outfits. So don't forget to subscribe with the bell and send it to your friends. So you can also dance with us to Romanian songs. Stretch a bit before the 5th chapter. You don't need the jacuzzi to stretch. I know it's better, but you can stretch also whenever you are. That's better. Just rise up from your phones. Put the phone in the side so you can watch me and stretch. It doesn't matter even if you are at work, you know, every hour you can get up, 5 minutes, stretch. You know, it's very important for your health. And it will also make you a better walker, you know. I believe that the employers should encourage the employees to make a break every hour for 5 minutes stretching. It will bring more, it will make you more efficient. Put your hand to the other side. Make your hands roll. Oh, my knee. It's very hard with the left leg, but I must stretch it daily so it will be able to do basic things. Like to stand, it's hard for me. I brush my teeth and put the left leg on the washing machine. You know, it's easier for me to stand on one leg than on two of it. Because it's all numbed. And it's very hard to deal with the numbness. You just need to, deal with it. There's nothing you can do but just deal with it. Stretching can help a bit, but still, the thing that helps the most is the empty. So I need to do some more empty. Unfortunately, my MP3 was stolen in Budapest like a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't find another one. So I need to put songs there. Collected 3 years, very beautiful songs that were there. So it's not so easy to dance with the phone, but I can put the headphones on the phone, just dance wherever I am. And I know much more fun in a party. Are there any parties here in Romania? If you guys, I cannot see your comments unfortunately, but if there are some parties here, please let me know, write to me on Facebook, Ravit Levi Meditation Dance, or on Instagram, ravit.md. I would be really happy to know. I really want to dance. Reduce the pain. So I also want to go to a massage. It was supposed to be on my birthday, but then my bag was stolen, things changed a bit. So until it will happen, I'm doing myself a massage. Going from one jacuzzi to another. I don't know if you saw in the beginning of the live, I put something on my leg and it helps the numbness. You don't see me with my bracelets because it was also in the bag that was stolen. Um, so it's also more disturbing now. So if you have these bracelets, these chokers, please let me know where you bought it, so I will order it as well. So it will have my pain to reduced. So let's continue to chapter 5. And yeah, I think I will put the leg in the water here, and I will leave it to you. Unfortunately, it's not so strong, but it makes the walk. So let's continue to chapter number 5. Okay. So in the low ceiling canteen, ceiling jet, like low ceiling. The low ceiling jet canteen, deep underground, the lunch queue jerked slowly forward. The room was already very full and definitely noisy. Okay. From the grill for I wish I had like a pillow just to put my knees on when I sit like this. There isn't. So from the grill at the counter, the steam of stew came pouring forth with the sour metallic smell which did not quite overcome the fumes of Victory Gin. On the far side of the room there was a small bar, a mere hole in the wall where gin could be bought at 10 cents the large nip. Just the man I was looking for, said a voice at Winston's back. He turned round. It was his friend Sim, who worked in the research department. Perhaps friend was not exactly the right word. You did not have friends nowadays. You had comrades. But there were some comrades whose society was pleasanter than that of others. Sim was a philologist, a specialist in newspeak. Indeed, he was one of the enormous team of experts now engaged in compiling the 11th edition of the Newspeak Dictionary. He was a tiny creature, smaller than Winston, with dark hair and large protuberant eyes, at once more mournful and derisive, which seemed to search your face closely while he was speaking to you. I wanted to ask you whether you'd got any razor blades, he said. Not one, said Winston with a sort of guilty haste. I've tried all over the place. They don't exist any longer. Everyone kept asking you for razor blades. Actually, he had two unused ones, which he was hoarding up. There had been a famine of them for months past. At any given moment, there was some necessary article which the party shops were unable to supply. Sometimes it was buttons, sometimes it was darning wool, sometimes it was shoelaces. At present it was razor blades. You could only get hold of them, if at all, by scrounging more or less furtively on the free market. I've been using the same blades for 6 weeks, he added untruthfully. The queue gave another jerk forward. As they halted, he turned and faced him again. Each of them took a greasy metal tray from a pile at the end of the counter. Did you go and see the prisoners hanged yesterday? Said Sim. I was working, said Winston indifferently. I shall see it on the flicks, I suppose. A very inadequate substitute, said Sim. His mocking eyes rolled over Winston's face. I know you, the eyes seemed to say. I see through you. I know very well why you didn't go to see those prisoners hanged. In an intellectual way, Sim was venomously orthodox. He would talk with a disagreeable, gloating satisfaction of helicopter raids on enemy villages and trails and confessions of thought criminals, the executions in the cellars of the Ministry of Law. Talking to him was largely a matter of getting him away from such subjects and entangling him, if possible, in the technicalities of newspeak, on which he was authoritative and interesting. Winston turned his head a little aside to avoid the scrutiny of the large dark eyes. It was a good hanging, said Sim reminiscently. I think it spoils it when they tie their feet together. I like to see them kicking, and above all, at the end, the tongue sticking right out, and blue, a quite bright blue. That's the detail that appeals to me. Next, please, yelled the whites, apron prowl with the ladle. Winston and Sim pushed their trays beneath the grill. Onto each was dumped swiftly the regulation lunch, a metal panicking of pinkish gray stew, a hunk of bread, a cube of cheese, a mug of milkless Victory coffee, and 1 saccharine tablets. There's a table over there, under that stealth screen, said Sim. Let's pick up a gin on the way. The gin was served out to them in handless china mugs. They threaded their way across the crowded room and unpacked their trays onto the metal-topped table, on one corner of which someone had left a pool of stew, a filthy liquid mess that had the appearance of vomit. Winston took up his mug of gin, paused for an instant to collect his nerve, and gulped the oily-tasting stuff down. When he had winked the tears out of his eyes, he suddenly discovered that he was hungry. He began swallowing spoonfuls of the stew, which is, in among its general sloppiness, had cubes of spongy pinkish stuff which was probably a preparation of meat. Neither of them spoke again till they had emptied their pannikins. From the table at Winston's left, a little behind his back, someone was talking rapidly and continuously, a harsh gabble almost like the quacking of a duck, which pierced the general uproar of the room. "How is the dictionary getting on?" said Winston, raising his voice to overcome the noise. "Slowly," said Sim. "I am on the adjective. It's fascinating." He had brightened up immediately at the mention of newspeak. He pushed his panic-fish aside, took up his hunk of bread in one delicate hand and his cheese in the other, and leaned across the table so as to be able to speak up without shouting. "The 11th edition is the definitive edition," he said. "We are getting the language into its final shape, the shape it's going to have when nobody speaks anything else. When we finish with it, people like you will have to learn it all over again. You think, I dare say, that our chief job is inventing new words. But not a bit of it. We're destroying words. Scores of them. Hundreds of them. Every day. We're cutting the language down to the bone. The 11th edition won't contain a single word that will become obsolete before the year 2050. He bit hungrily into his bread and swallowed a couple of mouthfuls, then continued speaking with a sort of pedant's passion. His thin, dark face had become animated. His eyes had lost their mocking expression and grown almost dreamy. It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of words. Of course, the great wastage is in the verbs and adjectives, but there are hundreds of nouns that can be got rid of as well. It isn't only the synonyms. There are also the antonyms. After all, what justification is there for a word which is simply the opposite of some other word? A word contains its opposite in itself. Take good for instance. If you have a word like good, what need is there for a word like bad? Ungood will do just as well, better, because it's an exact opposite, which the other is not. Or again, if you want a stronger version of good, what sense is there in having a whole string of vague, useless words like excellent and splendid and all the rest of them? Plus good covers the meaning, or double plus good, if you want something stronger still. Of course, we use those forms already, but in the final version of Newspeak, there will be nothing else. In the end, the whole notion of goodness and badness will be covered by only 6 words. In reality, only one word. Don't you see the beauty of that, Winston? It was Bibi's idea originally, of course, he added as an afterthought. A sort of vapid eagerness flittered across Winston's face as the mention of Big Brother. Nevertheless, Sim immediately detected a certain lack of enthusiasm. You haven't a real appreciation of Newspeak, Winston, he said almost sadly. Even when you write it, you're still thinking in old speak. I've read some of those pieces that you write in the Times occasionally. They're good enough, but they're translations. In your heart, you'd prefer to stick to old speak with all its vagueness and its useless shades of meaning. You don't grasp the beauty of the destruction of words. Do you know that Newspeak is the only language in the world whose vocabulary gets smaller every year? Winston did not know that, of course. He smiled sympathetically and hoped not trusting himself to speak. Sim bit off another fragment of the dark-colored bread, chewed it briefly, and went on. Don't you see that the whole aim of the Newspeak is to narrow the range of thought? In the end, we shall make thought crime literally impossible, because there will be no words in which to express it. Every concept that can ever be needed will be expressed by exactly one word, with its meaning rigidly defined and all its subsidiary meanings rubbed out and forgotten. Already in the 11th edition, we're not far from the point, but the process will still be continuing long after you and I are dead. Every year, fewer and fewer words, and the range of consciousness always a little smaller. Even now, of course, there's no reason or excuse for committing thought crime. It's merely a question of self-discipline, reality control. But in the end, there won't be any need even for that. The revolution will be complete when the language is perfect. Newspeak is Ingsoc, and Ingsoc is Newspeak, he added with a sort of mystical satisfaction. Has it ever occurred to you, Winston, that by the year 2050, at the very latest, not a single human being will be alive who could understand such a conversation as we are having now? Except, began Winston doubtfully, and he stopped. It had been on the tip of his tongue to say, except the proles, but he checked himself, not feeling fully certain that the remark was not in some way unorthodox. Sim, however, had divined what he was about to say. The proles are not human beings, he said carelessly. By 2050, earlier probably, all real knowledge of old speak will have disappeared. The whole literature of the past will have been destroyed. Chaucer, Shakespeare, Milton, Byron, they'll exist only in Newspeak versions, not merely changed into something different, but actually changed into something contradictory of what they used to be. Even the literature of the party will change. Even the slogans will change. How could you have a slogan like freedom is slavery when the concept of freedom has been abolished? The whole climate of thought will be different. In fact, there will be no thought as we understand it now. Orthodoxy means not thinking, not needing to think. Orthodoxy is unconsciousness. One of these days, thought Winston with a sudden deep conviction, steam will be vaporized. He is too intelligent. He sees too clearly and speaks too plainly. The party does not like such people. One day he will disappear. It is written in his face. Winston had finished his bread and cheese. He turned a little sideways in his chair to drink his mug of coffee. At the table of his left, the man with the strident voice was still talking remorselessly away. A young woman who was perhaps his secretary and who was sitting with her back to Winston was listening to him and seemed to be eagerly agreeing with everything that he said. From time to time, Winston caught some such remark as, "I think you're so right. I do so agree with you," uttered in a youthful and rather silly feminine voice. But the other voice never stopped for an instant, even when the girl was speaking. Winston knew the man by sight, though he knew no more about him than that he held some important post in the fiction department. He was a man of about 30, with a muscular throat and a large mobile mouth. His head was thrown back a little, and because of the angle at which he was sitting, his spectacles caught the light and presented to Winston two blank discs instead of eyes. What was slightly horrible was that from the stream of sound that poured out of his mouth, it was almost impossible to distinguish a single word. Just once Winston caught a phrase, complete and final elimination of Goldsteinism, jerked out very rapidly and, as it seemed, all in one piece, like a line of type cast solid. For the rest, it was just a noise, a quack quack quacking, and yet, though you could not actually hear what the man was saying, you could not be in any doubt about his general nature. He might be denouncing Goldstein and demanding strenuous measures against thought criminals and saboteurs. He might be fulminating against the atrocities of the Eurasian army. He might be praising Big Brother or the heroes of the Malabar front. It made no difference. Whatever it was, you could be certain that every word of it was pure orthodoxy, pure insult. As he watched the eyeless face with the jaw moving rapidly up and down, Winston had a curious feeling that this was not a real human being, but some kind of dummy. It was not the man's brain that was speaking, it was his larynx. The stuff that was coming out of him consisted of words, but it was not speech in the true sense. It was a noise uttered in unconsciousness, like the quacking of a duck. Sim had fallen silent for a moment, and with the handle of his spoon was tracing patterns in the paddle of stew. The voice from the outer table whacked rapidly on, easily audible in spite of the surrounding din. There is a word in newspeak, said Sim. I don't know whether you know it. Duck speak. To quack like a duck, it is one of those interesting words that have two contradictory meanings. Applied to an opponent, it is abuse. Applied to someone you agree with, it is praise. Unquestionably, Sim will be vaporized. Winston thought again. He thought it was a kind of sadness, although well knowing that Sim despises him and slightly disliked him, and was fully capable of denouncing him as a thought criminal if he saw any reason for doing so. There was something subtly wrong with Sim. There was something that he lacked. This discretion, aloofness, a sort of saving stupidity. You could not say that he was unorthodox. He believed in the principles of insult. He venerated Big Brother. He rejoiced over victories. He hated heretics, not merely with sincerity, but with a sort of restless zeal, an up-to-dateness of information, which the ordinary party member did not approach. Yet, yet a faint air of disreputability always clung to him. He said things that would have been better unsaid. He had read too many books. He frequented the Chestnut Tree Cafe, a hunt of painters and musicians. There was no law, not even an unwritten law, against frequenting the Chestnut Tree Cafe, yet the place was somehow ill-omened. Ill-omened. Okay. The old discredited leaders of the party had been used to gather there before they were finally purged. Goldstein himself, it was said, had sometimes been seen there years and decades ago. Sim's fate was not difficult to foresee, and yet it was a face that, if Sim grasped, even for 3 seconds, the nature of his, Winston's, secret opinions, he would betray him instantly to the thought police. So would anybody else, for that matter, but Sim more than most. Zeal was not enough. Orthodoxy was unconsciousness. Sim looked up. Here comes Parsons, he said. Something in his tone of his voice seemed to add, that bloody fool. Winston's fellow tenant of Victory Mansions, was in fact threading his way across the room, a tubby middle-sized man with fair hair and a frog-like face. At 35, he was already putting on rolls of fat at neck and waistline, but his movements were brisk and boyish. His whole appearance was that of a little boy grown large, so much so that although he was wearing regulation overalls, it was almost impossible not to think of him as being dressed in the blue shorts, gray shirt, and red neckerchief of the spies. In visualizing him, one saw always a picture of dimpled knees and sleeves brought back from pudgy forearms. Persons did indeed invariably revert to shorts when a community hike or any other physical activity gave him an excuse for doing so. He greeted them both with a cheery hello, hello, and sat down at the table, giving off an intense smell of sweat. Bits of moisture stood out all over his being face. His powers of sweating were extraordinary. At the community center, you could always tell when he had been playing table tennis by the dampness of the bat handle. Sim had produced a strip of paper on which there was a long column of words and was studying it with an ink pencil between his fingers. "Look at him working away in the lunch hour," said Parsons, nudging Winston. "Meanness, huh? What's that you got there, old boy? Something a bit too brainy for me, I expect. Smith, old boy, I'll tell you why I'm chasing you. It's that sub you forgot to give me." "Which sub is that?" said Winston, automatically feeling for money. About a quarter of one's salary had to be earmarked for voluntary subscriptions, which were so numerous that it was difficult to keep track of them. "For Hate Week, you know, the house by house fund. I'm treasurer for our block. We're making an all-out effort going to put on a tremendous show. I tell you, it won't be my fault if all Victory Mansions doesn't have the biggest outfit of flags in the whole street. $2 you promised me." Winston's found and handed over 2 greased and filthy notes, which Parsons entered in a small notebook, in the neat handwriting of the illiterates. "By the way, old boy," he said, "I hear that little beggar of mine let fly at you with his catapult yesterday. I gave him a good dressing down for it. In fact, I told him I'd take the catapult away if he does it again." Let's drink a bit. Okay. Okay, let's continue on reading. If he does it again. I think he was a little upset at not going to the execution, said Winston. Oh well, what I mean to say shows the right spirit, doesn't it? Mischievous, little beggars they are, both of them. But talk about meanness. All they think about is the spies and the war, of course. Do you know what that little girl of mine did last Saturday when her troop was on a hike out Berkhamsted Way? She got 2 other girls to go with her, slipped off from the hike, and spent the whole afternoon following a strange man. They kept on his tail for 2 hours, right through the woods, and then, when they got into Amersham, handed him over to the patrol. What did they do that for? What did they do that for? Said Winston, somewhat taken back. Persons went on triumphantly. My kid made sure he was some kind of enemy agent who might have been dropped by parachutes, for instance. But here's the point, old boy. What do you think put her on to him in the first place? She spotted he was wearing a fine kind of shoes, said she'd never seen anyone wearing shoes like that before. So the chances were he was a foreigner. Pretty smart for a nipper of 7, huh? What happened to the man? Said Winston. Oh, that I couldn't say, of course. But I wouldn't be altogether surprised if persons made the motion of aiming a rifle and licked his tongue for the explosion. Good, said Sim abstractedly, without looking up from his strip of paper. Of course we can't afford to take chances, agreed Winston dutifully. What I mean to say, there is a war on, said Persons, as though in confirmation of this, a trumpet call floated from the telescreen just above their heads. However, it was not the proclamation of a military victory this time, but merely an announcement from the Ministry of Plenty. Comrades, cried an eager youthful voice. Attention, comrades. I think I need the light. Yes, now it's better. Ma? מה? מה, אתה הולך לחנות? אתה הולך לחנות?
אני לא הולכת לבד.
למה? Okay, let's continue. Okay. Comrades, cried an eager youthful voice. Attention, comrades. We have glorious news for you. We have won the battle for production. Returns now completed of the output of all classes of consumption goods show that the standard of living has risen by no less than 20%. כן? they are playing. Oh, okay, so I will continue on reading and they are playing in the other room. I told you with the outfits of the Romanian outfits. So I will close the light and I will continue the other light dancing with the Romanian outfits. Playing on guitar, so don't go away and don't forget to subscribe with the bell and you will see a very special thing now. Go to wait, I will go to rest a bit and I will continue with the traditional Romanian dance. Let's learn something new and see you in a few minutes. Don't forget to subscribe with the bell. You have also the Facebook Ravit Levi Meditation Dance, the Instagram and TikTok Ravit.md, and yeah, this is it. See you in 5 minutes.